closed the deal on Buffalo Wild Wings. How are you going to fix this brand? There's some things going wrong in it. How are you going to turn it around? You've done a phenomenal job turning Arby's around.
Well, there are a lot of similarities with how we approached the Arby's business a few years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts with just crystallizing what is the positioning of the brand, where does it need to be. Buffalo Wild Wings has a great historical position in the market, and there's more competition today than there was when it was started in 1982 and where it grew over the early 2000s. And so we need to go back and just make sure we solidify where it has the right to play in the marketplace and create a real purpose and vision for the brand, which is very similar to what we did at the onset of Arby's. And then everything falls out of that, right? What we end up doing with the menu over time, what we do on the culinary side, what we end up doing with the experience side, what we end up doing with the marketing, all of that falls out of a clear vision for the brand. And we're just going to take a very similar approach, a very methodical approach that we took with the Arby's business and apply that same methodology to Buffalo Wild Wings.
There's several things I've seen is the restaurants have seemed to get bigger. The newer ones they've opened in the past 5 years. The menu has gotten larger. Are those things you have identified, and how do you address them?
Well, menu getting bigger is just a natural thing that can happen in the restaurant industry. As over time, it starts with a very focused menu around whatever the vision of the brand is, and it's easier just to get your head around, we'll add another product and another product because their competitor did the same. And that's not atypical of what happens with a lot of restaurant companies, and so we need to go back and kind of go back to what is the vision of what we're trying to be, and it will probably lead to a more refined menu and a more focus on whatever items we have are as high quality as they can be and as good a value as they can be.
There's been so much talk of bringing chicken wings into Arby's. Like, how do you integrate Buffalo Wild Wings into Arby's? Does that happen?
Yeah, we will not be integrating the menu long term. Now, we're doing some fun things this week. In fact, a general manager of Buffalo Wild Wings, I was out in the Denver market, and he said, I've come up with this new sauce called the Hozinga, which is a combination of the horsey sauce and their Asian zing sauce, and it's actually very, very good, and we're serving that in the New York restaurants this week. But that's really more of a fun thing
Does beer? I mean, Buffalo Wild Wings is known for the beer. Do you get beer into Arby's? Goes well with that Meat Mountain sandwich of yours.
We don't have any more plans to do that. But one thing that we will do is share best practices. Gotcha. So, and from one brand to the other. So an example on Arby's is that we put together a systematic way of doing product innovation. We've done a lot of product innovation over the past several years, and that's not by mistake. It's been how we've come through a process of doing market research and culinary research, working with our suppliers. We're going to take the learnings from that process and apply that process to Buffalo Wild Wings. Sure. Now on the other side, Buffalo Wild Wings has made a lot more progress around mobile ordering and takeout and delivery. And we're going to be able to learn from that on the Arby's side. So
I mean, do you have one app where you can order a Meat Mountain and a Buffalo Wild Wings chicken wing? Is that what it looks like?
We don't know yet. We don't know yet. How integrated we make the consumer-facing elements of the brands is still yet to be seen.
All right, well, don't be putting hot wings on my Meat Mountain there, Paul Brown, all right? One thing that's very interesting to me is that you are now a portfolio of brands. What are your thoughts here? You know, like we were talking about, the markets have come down, valuations got a little cheaper. You're suddenly building a portfolio of brands now.
Yeah, we think there is a real opportunity to do that in this space for a couple of reasons. I mean, scale matters more in the restaurant industry, matters more in a lot of industries, but technology is playing a greater role. What we were just talking about of being able to invest in things like mobile applications or data analytics, it takes a lot of fixed cost. And so having the scale to be able to do that, and you can leverage that across multiple brands. But the advantage of being multiple brand versus single brand at scale is that each of the brands can have their own growth opportunity. So there's room for another 3,000 Arby's in the United States of America. There's room for another 1,000 Buffalo Wild Wings in the United States of America. So each of them has the opportunity to grow as brands, but together they're a very scaled platform. And so, you know, the opportunity to add more, we'll see.
What interests you? Is it a day part? Is it a food? Is it a burger? Is it a coffee? How do you find these targets?
We think there's an opportunity to be across what we call multiple day parts or occasion sets, right? And so that's what we like about Buffalo Wild Wings and Arby's is they're very different occasions. They don't compete for the same occasion. And so having them as complementary brands in the portfolio makes sense. And you can see other examples of that, whether it be different protein occasions within QSR or different experience occasions within casual dining. And yeah, I think the opportunity to look for great brands, and the important thing is great brands up and down the spectrum, is something we'll continue to do.
Well, you've done a heck of a job turning around Arby's, and good luck to you on Buffalo Wild Wings.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.